Most people think a recession is a market event, a drop in stocks, a scary headline, a word on the news. But a recession is not just a market event, it is a life event. It tests your job, it tests your bills, it tests your debt, it tests your patience, and it tests your ability to stay calm when everyone else is reacting. That is why the next recession can feel brutal, not because the world ends, because pressure rises fast, small mistakes get bigger, weak plans get exposed, and the people who depended on normal get surprised. Now here is the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't get hurt in recessions because they are stupid. They get hurt because they are forced. They are forced to sell, forced to borrow, forced to panic, forced to accept bad deals. And forced choices are almost always expensive choices. This video is not about predicting a date. It is not about fear. It is not about doom. It is about being ready in a calm way. Because the best time to prepare is when your mind is quiet, not when your heart is racing. Let me ask you a question that sounds simple, but changes everything. If your income dropped tomorrow, how many months could you live normally? Not survive, I mean live. Pay the main bills, buy groceries, get gas, handle medicine, fix a car problem. Stay calm. Most people don't know the number. And if you don't know the number, you don't know your real risk. You may think your risk is the stock market, but your real risk might be your lifestyle, or your debt, or your lack of cash, or your lack of options. This is why recessions transfer wealth, not by magic, by pressure. When pressure hits, the unprepared must sell good things at bad prices. The prepared can wait. And sometimes, the prepared can buy good things at fair prices, not guaranteed, not promised. But that is how it often works. So the goal is simple. Don't be forced. If you are not forced, you can think clearly. And clear thinking during a recession is worth more than any hot tip. Now let's talk about the biggest trap that ruins people before a recession even starts. It is the lifestyle trap. A lot of people get a raise and they upgrade their life right away. Better car, bigger rent, more spending, more monthly payments. They don't do it because they are bad people. They do it because it feels like progress. But lifestyle is not wealth. Lifestyle is cost. And the bigger your cost, the more fragile you become when conditions change. A recession does not warn you politely. It shows up and asks, how strong is your base? If your base is weak, stress rises fast. So here is the first principle of being ready. Build a base that can take a hit. This is what long-term investors call margin of safety. Most people think margin of safety is only for stocks. It's not. Margin of safety is space. Space between you and panic. Space between you and forced selling. Space between you and the moment you have to say yes to a bad deal. So in this first part, we are going to build that space. And we will do it with a simple framework. 4 steps. See, save, simplify, stay calm, not forever, just as a system. Step 1 is see. This is the part most people avoid. They don't want to look too closely. They have a rough idea of their money, a general sense of their bills. But a recession does not care about rough ideas. A recession cares about reality. So your job is to see your real picture. Here is what you do. You write down your essential monthly costs. Essential means the bills you cannot skip. Housing, food, utilities, transportation, medicine, basic insurance, minimum debt payments, not fun spending, not shopping, not nice to have, just the base. Then you write down your income. Then you ask one honest question. If income drops, what breaks first? This is not meant to scare you. It is meant to give you clarity, because clarity is calm. Now step 2 is save. This step is about cash. And I know cash is not exciting. Cash feels boring. Online boring gets mocked. People say cash is lazy money. But during a recession, cash can be freedom. Not because cash makes you rich, because cash keeps you from panic. Cash gives you time. Time to think, time to wait, time to avoid selling investments at the worst time. So cash is not just a financial tool. Cash is a psychological tool. When you have a cushion, your brain changes. You stop reacting, you start seeing, you stop chasing, you stop panicking. That mental shift is priceless. Now how much cash? There is no one number for everyone, but there is a simple way to think. How many months of essential costs would keep you calm if income slowed? That is your cushion target. Again, this is not fear. This is basic safety, like having water in your house, like having a spare tire. You don't buy a spare tire because you love flat tires. You buy it because you know flat tires happen. Now, here is the key point. A cushion is not built in one day. You build it slowly. You build it the way real wealth is built. Small, steady actions. This is compounding too, not in the market, in your stability. Now, step 3 is simplify. Simplify means remove weak points. In recessions, the things that hurt most are the things that can't bend. Fixed payments, high-interest debt, plans that require perfect income every month. So simplifying is about lowering the weight you carry. Start with the worst weight, high-interest debt. High-interest debt is not just a bill. It is a leak. It leaks your future every month. And in a recession, leaks become floods. So the mindset is simple. Less debt equals more options. More options equals more calm. More calm equals better decisions. Now, I am not telling you to do anything extreme. I am not telling you to stop living. I am telling you to see what is fragile and reduce fragility step by step, one bill at a time, one payment at a time, one leak at a time. Now step 4 is stay calm. This is the step most people skip. They build some savings. They reduce some debt, but they do not build a plan for their emotions. And emotions are what ruin people in downturns, because the market will test you. Your account will drop. Headlines will scream. Friends will panic. Social media will act like the world is ending. And in that moment, your brain will push you toward action. It will say, do something. But do something is not a strategy. Do something is a feeling. So you need one simple rule. Never make a major money decision while you feel fear or excitement. Wait. Even one day can save you from a lifetime mistake. Now, let's connect these 4 steps to the title. The next recession can be brutal because it hits people who are living tight. Tight money, tight budgets, tight debt payments, tight emotions. When you are tight, you break faster. But if you can create space, you bend instead of break. That space is your margin of safety. And margin of safety is what lets long-term investing work through volatility. Because here is the truth about recessions. They don't just bring danger, they bring discounts. Not guaranteed. But often, prices fall faster than real value. And when that happens, the best position is not smartest. It is not forced. If you are forced to sell, you lose. If you are not forced, you can wait. And sometimes, you can act when others can't. That is why being ready matters. Now, in the next section, we will go deeper. We will talk about debt as a silent trap in recessions. We will talk about the difference between a strong company and a weak company. We will build a simple owner checklist for business quality. We will talk about moats, pricing power, and balance sheet strength in plain words. We will also build a simple plan for what to do when the market is red, because the hardest part of a recession is not the math, it is the mind. And if you can control your mind, you can control your outcomes more than most people ever will. For now, remember this. The goal is not to predict the recession. The goal is to prepare for stress. See your real numbers. Save a cushion. Simplify weak points. Stay calm when others react. That is how you get ready for a brutal season, not by being fast, by being steady. Now let's talk about the thing that turns a normal recession into a personal crisis. Debt. Most people think debt is just a monthly payment, but debt is more than a payment. Debt is a fixed weight you carry into a storm, and storms make weight feel heavier. Here is the simple truth. In a recession, income can drop, hours get cut, bonuses disappear, clients slow down, sales fall, but debt does not care. Debt keeps charging. Same schedule, same interest, no mercy. That is why debt is so dangerous before a downturn. Not because debt always means you did something wrong, but because debt removes options, and in a recession, options are everything. Now here is a concept you need to understand. Compounding works both ways. If you invest wisely, compounding can help you. If you carry high-interest debt, compounding hurts you. It hurts quietly. A little interest today, a little interest tomorrow, then a lot of interest later. So the first goal is not be perfect. The first goal is stop the leaks. Because you cannot fill a bucket if the bucket is leaking. So here is a simple debt checklist. Keep it honest. Keep it plain. Write down every debt, credit cards, personal loans, Car loans, buy now, pay later, anything with a payment. Now circle the one with the highest interest. That is the first leak. This is not about shame. This is about math. High interest is like paying rent on your own past. You already spent the money. Now you pay extra for it. And the extra payment blocks your future. So the recession rule is simple. If you want more calm, reduce high-interest debt first, not because you fear the future, because you respect how recessions work. Now, there is another kind of debt that can be tricky, debt tied to lifestyle. This is the debt people take to look successful. Nice car, bigger home, more monthly costs. This leads to the next idea. Many people don't have a money problem. They have a consumption identity. A consumption identity is when spending becomes who you are. Your car becomes your status. Your phone becomes your status. Your vacations become your status. Your home becomes your status. Then, cutting back feels like losing yourself. That is dangerous. Because in a recession, cutting back may be the smart move. But if cutting back feels like shame, people refuse to do it. They protect the image. They keep spending. They use debt. They drain savings, and then they break. So here is a hard but helpful question. If you had to live simpler for 6 months, would you still feel like you? If the answer is no, that is not a market problem. That is an identity problem. Now, this is not about living like a monk. It is about freedom. Freedom is not what you show. Freedom is what you can handle. If your lifestyle requires perfect income, you are not free. You are fragile. And fragility is what recessions punish. So here is the identity rule. Don't tie your self-worth to monthly payments. Tie your self-worth to your values. Values don't get repossessed. Now, some people will hear this and feel defensive. That is normal. A recession doesn't care about our feelings. It cares about our structure. So don't fight the truth. Use the truth. Now, let's move to the next principle. Willpower is not enough. Most people think recession prep is about discipline. Just try harder. But willpower runs out. It runs out when you are tired. It runs out when you are stressed. It runs out when your friends invite you out. It runs out when you feel behind. The people who stay strong over decades don't rely on willpower. They design their environment. They make the right behavior easy. This is called system design. Here is the simplest example. If your paycheck hits your checking account and sits there, you will spend more. Not because you are bad, because money in front of you feels available. But if a portion of income moves automatically to savings, your spending adjusts to what is left. No drama. You adapt. That is environment design. So here is the recession prep rule. Don't rely on motivation. Build automatic systems. Now, let's keep it simple. You can design your environment in 3 areas. Money flow, people, information. First, money flow. Make saving automatic if you can. Make bills predictable. Make buffers a normal part of life. If you only save when you feel like it, you won't save in hard months. But hard months are when you need it most. Second, people. Your social circle affects your spending. If everyone around you spends freely, you will feel pressure. If everyone around you panics about money, you will feel panic. Humans copy humans. That is not weakness. That is wiring. So here is a calm question. Who do you copy without noticing? Do your friends upgrade often? Do they joke about treating yourself as if it is required? Do they chase trends? Do they complain about saving? If yes, you don't need to drop your friends. But you do need to protect your plan. You need boundaries. You need a default. A simple rule like, I don't upgrade my lifestyle until my buffer is full. That rule keeps you steady, even when others push. Third, information. This is the big one in modern life. The attention economy taxes your brain. Every app wants your attention. News wants your attention. Fear gets attention. So fear gets pushed. And in recessions, fear gets louder. The news is not designed to make you calm. It is designed to keep you watching. Social media is not designed to make you wise. It is designed to keep you scrolling. So here is the recession advantage that most people ignore. Protect your attention, because attention controls emotion. Emotion controls decisions, and decisions control results. A recession is not only a test of your money, it is a test of your attention. So use this rule. When fear rises, reduce inputs, check less, think more. Now, that does not mean ignore reality. It means avoid noise. Here is a simple noise filter. If the information does not change what you will do in the next year, it is probably noise. Noise makes you act fast. Acting fast is how people buy high and sell low, so your job is to slow your inputs. Now, let's build your recession calm protocol. This is what you do when headlines spike and your brain wants action. Step 1. Pause. Step 2. Ask, is this a real problem or an attention problem? Step 3. Check your base. How many months of essentials do I have? What are my fixed payments? What is my highest interest debt? What is my next bill? Step 4. Make one small move, not 10 big moves. Small moves keep you calm. Big moves often create regret. Now, here is the most important idea of this whole section. Liquidity is not only money. Liquidity is time. Time is what stops forced choices. Time is what allows patience. And patience is what allows compounding. When you have no liquidity, your brain becomes short-term. You start doing whatever stops pain today. That is how people sell long-term assets at the wrong time. So do not just build a cash cushion, build a time cushion. Time cushion means lower fixed payments, less high-interest debt, a buffer for essentials, backup plans. That is what gives you options. Now, let's connect this to the market. People always ask, should I be afraid of recessions? Fear is not helpful. Respect is helpful. A recession is a normal part of markets. It will happen again. And when it happens, prices can fall faster than business value. That does not mean everything becomes a good deal, but it does mean opportunities can appear only for people who are ready. Ready means not forced, not panicking, not buried in debt, not tied to a lifestyle that must be funded at any cost. Ready means your base is strong. Now, in the next section, we will focus on the investing side. We will build a simple owner checklist for what to buy and what to avoid in a downturn. We will talk about business quality in plain words. Steady demand, strong balance sheets, pricing power, economic moats. We will talk about valuation and margin of safety. We will also build a simple red day plan so you know what to do when prices drop and everyone is screaming, because this is the real game. The recession will test your plan, but the market will test your mind. And if you can keep your mind calm, you can keep your plan intact. That is how you survive. And sometimes, that is how you come out stronger. Now we move to the investing part. This is where many people get emotional, because in a recession, prices fall fast, headlines get scary, and social media turns fear into a trend. If you do not have a plan, your brain will pick one for you. And that plan is usually wrong. So we are going to build a calm owner plan, not a prediction plan. An owner plan works like this. You don't try to guess the next week. You try to own strong things for many years, and you only buy when the price gives you room. That room is called margin of safety. Now, let's start with business quality. In a recession, weak businesses break first. They have too much debt. They have customers who leave fast. They have no pricing power. They have no moat. They need good times to survive. Strong businesses can still drop in price, but they often keep operating. So here is a simple owner checklist for recession-ready businesses. Question 1. Do people need this in good times and bad times? This is demand. If demand disappears when things get tight, the business is fragile. Question 2. Can the business raise prices a little without losing customers? This is pricing power. In a recession, costs can rise. Businesses without pricing power get squeezed. Question 3. Does the business have manageable debt? Debt is the killer in downturns. A company can have great products and still fail because it owes too much. So you want to know if the business can survive a rough year without begging for help. Question 4. Does the business produce real cash over time? Not just growth, not just users. Real cash. Cash keeps businesses alive when credit gets tight. Question 5. Does the business have an economic moat? A moat is protection. It is what stops competitors from taking profits when times are hard. Moats can look like switching costs. Customers can't leave easily. Brand trust. Customers stay because they fear mistakes. Cost advantage. The business can deliver cheaper than rivals. Network effects. More users makes it stronger. Scale and distribution. It reaches customers better than others. If you can't name a moat, be careful. Because recessions turn competition into a fight for survival, and businesses with no moat often lose that fight. Now, This checklist helps you avoid the first trap in recessions. The first trap is buying weak businesses just because they look cheap. Cheap is not the same as value. Some things are cheap because they are broken. So after quality, we talk about price. Price is where most people get burned. Because in hot markets, people forget price. And in recessions, people overreact to price. They see a big drop and think, it must be a bargain. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is not. So you need one simple price rule. Never pay a price that needs a perfect future. If everything must go right for you to do okay, you have no margin of safety. And in a recession, you want more margin of safety, not less. So use a simple price stress test. Ask 3 questions. First, what must be true for this price to make sense? Second, what happens if growth is slower than expected? Third, if I am wrong on one big thing, do I still have a decent outcome? If the answer is no, then the price is not safe enough. Now, here is the mindset that saves people. You don't need to catch the bottom. Trying to catch the perfect bottom often creates panic, because if you buy and it drops more, you feel stupid. Then you sell, then you miss the recovery. So the owner mindset is different. Owners build positions slowly. They buy in steps. They keep room. They don't bet everything on one day. This is how you stay calm. Now, let's build your red day plan. A red day is when the market is down and the news is loud. This is when emotions try to take control. So here is your red day plan in simple steps. Step 1, stop scrolling. Step 2, read your rules. Step 3, ask, did the business change or did the mood change? Remember, price is mood, business is reality. Mood moves fast, reality moves slower. Step 4, if you don't understand what you own, do not guess. Guessing is how people panic. Step 5, if you do understand what you own, review the facts, customers, cash, debt, moat. Step 6, act slowly. Slow action beats fast regret. Now, the green day plan. Green days are when markets are rising and people feel brave. This is when greed sneaks in. Greed says, take more risk, you're safe. But in recessions and recoveries, greed can push you into buying at bad prices. So on green days, your rule is simple. Do less. Ask, if I didn't own this today, would I buy it at this price? If the answer is no, you don't chase. Now, we need to talk about position size. This is a key part of risk control. A recession can drop prices a lot. That is normal. So you should not own things so large that you can't sleep. Sleep matters. Because if you can't sleep, you will sell at the wrong time. So use the sleep test. If this drops 40%, can I stay calm? If not, the position is too big for you. It doesn't matter what someone else can handle. It matters what you can handle. Now, let's talk about what you should do before the recession hits. Not a prediction, just preparation. This is your quiet season plan. First, build your base. Essentials. Cushion, reduced leaks. Second, build your watch list. A watch list is not a list of hot names. It is a list of businesses you understand. For each business, write 3 lines. What it does, why customers stay, what could break it. That is owner thinking. Third, write your owner note for any investment you already hold. 1 short paragraph. Why you own it, what you expect, what would make you change your mind. This note protects you from panic later because fear rewrites memory. Fear makes you forget why you bought. Fear makes you believe the worst story. Your note keeps you honest. Fourth, preset your behavior rules. Here are 3 rules you can borrow. Rule 1, I will not sell in a panic. Rule 2, I will not buy because of hype. Rule 3, I will not make big moves on the same day as big news. These rules don't guarantee success, but they reduce dumb mistakes. And reducing dumb mistakes is how you win over decades. Now, let's talk about the wealth transfer idea in a calm way. People say recessions destroy wealth. Sometimes they do destroy weak wealth. But often, recessions move wealth. They move it from the forced to the prepared. The forced sell. The prepared buy. The forced borrow. The prepared wait. The forced chase. The prepared stay steady. This isn't about being cold or greedy. It is about structure. If you want to be on the prepared side, you build margin of safety before the storm. And your margin of safety is not one thing. It is a system, lower debt, higher buffer, fewer fixed costs, more calm, a clear plan, a watch list of quality. Now, I want to say something that will save you money. Do not confuse being ready with being all cash. Some people get scared and hold cash forever. That can also be a trap, because long-term wealth still needs compounding. Compounding needs ownership in productive assets, so the goal is balance. A strong base plus a long-term plan. That is the mature approach. Now, here is the final framework. It is simple. Be ready in 4 moves. 1. Know your essentials. 2. Build a cushion. 3. Reduce your leaks. 4. Build an owner plan for volatility. If you do these 4, you will not feel calm because the world is calm. You will feel calm because your system is calm, and that matters. Because the next recession will test everyone, but it will not reward everyone. It will reward the people who can think clearly while others react. So the final inner script is this. When the news screams, say, I don't need to react, I need to follow my plan. When prices drop, say, I expected volatility, I will check business facts. When people panic, say, I will not trade my future for relief. That is how you stay steady. That is how you survive a brutal downturn. And that is how you give compounding the time it needs to work.